Welcome to the Noface Show.
Welcome. Hello. What's up? Welcome to a new episode of the Noface Show right here. Got my logo right behind me. The Noface Show. Super happy to be here with the one and only Kris Kiss. What's up? How are you doing, dude?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Very hot in the UK today, so it's a bit hot in the studio, but yeah, man.
Yeah. Oh, it's very hot. But we have people here everywhere, like around the world. We're like an international community right here. I'm in Barcelona, Spain. Here in the UK, we got Max Vangeli here too. From California, and our audience is from everywhere around the world. So
LA, baby.
There you go. Yeah, some LA people. TiVo is somewhere here as well. Yeah. Anyway, so for those of you that don't know Kris Kiss, about time you know this guy is incredibly awesome. Singer, songwriter, and producer based in the UK. Has had an incredible career. Worked with really great artists, big names, including Don Diablo, Hardwell, Steve Aoki, Laidback Luke, Armin van Buuren, right, as well. So work with some of the best labels, including Mix Match Records, Hexagon, Spinnin, and countless more. So for those of us that are getting started in the music industry, I think we're gonna get some amazing insight from him, get to know him a little better. I get to know his career a little better, and hopefully get to know an artist, and it's gonna be an incredible time. Anything you want to say about yourself?
Yeah, man. It started roughly around sort of like 2014 was the first break with Chocolate Puma.
Love song.
Step Back.
I was gonna kick his ass for that one. Where's Chocolate Puma? It's like,
that one.
Yeah. So weirdly enough, before that, I was just writing and recording mainly like hip hop and rap stuff. And I got a manager just after college, and he was like, "Do you fancy trying house?" And I was just like, "Go on then." And then I literally wrote the vocal in about 15 minutes, recorded it in about 10 minutes, sent it over, and then it went gold. I was just like, "What?"
Crazy.
Man.
I'm so glad you're like bringing up your beginnings, because as I mentioned, I always like to kind of go back, take a trip down to memory lane and talk about the artist's beginnings, to see how you went kind of from like in your bedroom making music to working with some of the best artists. So take us down to your beginning of your career, maybe how you began into music, and maybe through a college, if that's when you developed as an artist. Tell us maybe the past of Kris Kiss.
Yeah, man. Well, I've always loved music, just naturally. Like I just felt it from a young age. My mum used to listen to a lot of Motown, Whitney Houston. She used to blare out Whitney Houston all the time, Michael Jackson. And then, I didn't really take music seriously. I was always writing. I used to love poetry and creative writing when I was in school. So I did a lot of that. And then when I discovered Eminem, that was when it changed for me, man, because I was just like, wow, I was just blown away by the lyrical ability.
100%.
So like that was when I started writing rap. Probably about 10 years old, I reckon I was when I started writing. So proper young.
Did you ever get any influences? Did you ever get any influences from like the UK rap? Because UK rap, I'm or UK drill. I love that genre, and definitely maybe being in the UK influenced you, or?
Well, I wouldn't say so massively at the start, because when I first fell in love with music, there wasn't really that many British rappers that were like well known. It wasn't really like a sort of universally known thing. Okay. All the biggest rappers were all American, and then everyone in the UK used to just aspire to be like them. So yeah, man. But since then, I've got loads of other influences from the UK. I mean, we're producing some of the best rappers at the moment in the world, really. But yeah, man, so I started writing around 10, came out of school, went to college, did music technology, a diploma in music technology.
Yo, that's incredible, because guess what, I'm studying at university, same thing.
Yeah,
that's good, awesome, man. That you're saying that. Yeah, I'm in the US, but that's awesome that you study music and technology. That's really great.
Yeah, man. So I just wanted to learn how to just how it all worked electronically. I just was interested. I knew that I was never really good at technology or necessarily computers or anything like that. but I just knew that I loved music. So yeah, I went to college, did that. That was a 2-year diploma.
Awesome.
And then I was going to go to university, but by that time I thought I've learned all I need to know to start putting it into practice. So straight out of the back of college, I was, recording in local studios and whatnot, getting demos together.
And what's your opinion? Like, a lot of people maybe think whether or not they should be going to college or a university for music. What's your opinion, like studying music or studying music and technology versus kind of like do it yourself or like learning yourself?
Well, I think it's all down to the individual, isn't it, really? Because for some people, the educational system can be massively beneficial. And for other people, it's better to work on the job, to learn on the job. For me, I'd sort of got enough from the educational part already. And I got to a point where I was like, I know what I need to know already. So by that time, I was ready to just go out there and start doing it. So yeah, I was just doing like sessions in local studios and got a demo together, and then reached out to a few different managers. And
you were working with EDM already, or was that still in your like?
No, this was way before. This was way before
nice.
EDM. This was hip hop, R&B, grime, anything, just rap basically. And then I ended up getting signed to management, Infinite Future Management, who's actually Jonas Blue's manager now.
Oh, nice.
So Jonas Blue was my old manager's first signing, and then I was the second signing to that management company. So yeah, off the back of that, he was just like, I love what you're doing. I think you've got a lot of talent. Do you want to try doing house music? And I was just like, yeah, I was open to anything. So he sent me the Chocolate Puma beat, and then the rest is history, man.
that's really great.
Crazy.
Yeah, good decision for your manager for
to
tell you to go that way, because that genre is still like evolving a lot, like mixing those hip hop sounds.
The thing that this is the thing though, it's been quite hard to sort of like I'm sure every like musician can relate to this, like having like a crisis of character with regards to the kind of genre direction, because before that I was doing all hip hop rap stuff, then it was the house, and then I kind of had to try and find my way through a new genre that I knew nothing about. So I was just like learning.
How was your like learning curve? Because before you got into house, did you like house, or was it kind of like a complete new world to you?
It was I didn't know much about EDM and house. It was more like funky house in the UK, which and like garage.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, like as far as EDM, I didn't really know that there was such a big like network of a big fan base of that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just around them times. It was quite a while ago now, so the internet wasn't that old, and people were only just connecting all over the world, and social networks were just picking up. It was that sort of time. So yeah, man, I didn't have any idea what EDM or anything like that was. So I was literally the way that I was jumping on every track was basically just chatting about how I'm going to shut it down like every time.
Yeah.
What's crazy? I wanted to add something to that, is that like UK, I always say UK is always so ahead of its time as far as like the music, like music in general. And I remember those times when all of those genres were big. That was already, they were like, UK was already doing like harder stuff in that genre way ahead of its time. Like only now the world is like, oh, we got like the Skrillexes, all that shit. But like back
doing
in
the
day,
dubstep,
I remember Dr. P, I think, is from the UK, right? There's like a bunch of I remember exactly the style you're talking about, and there was like, it was very hard, and it was definitely not like the stuff that you started doing essentially.
No, definitely not. So I guess it was just I think it was divine intervention, man, because the manager was just like, do you want to try house music? And literally the first first vocal I did on it went gold in Holland. I've got the plaque sitting right here, man.
So I really love that, and I think that a lot of people sometimes, like when they either have a lot of history with house music or EDM, like sometimes have a hard time finding their sound or tend to always, you know, make very generic music. The fact that you probably possibly didn't know anything and kind of came in with a fresh pair of ears, maybe gave you a fresh vision on the music industry that no one else had, and that maybe actually helped you more than hurt you.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it was quite a natural sounding mix of like vocal with you know, house. You know, Chocolate Puma are unbelievably talented producers, man, and their beats just proper knock, you know what I mean? So when I heard that, it's kind of sounded a bit garagey as well, so it lent itself to like a British rap vocal. And yeah, man, the rest is history. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, they're doing, because the majority of their stuff, because I know the guys very well, and majority of their stuff now, they're still very heavy on sampling drums. Like a lot of guys don't sample drums anymore in house. Their stuff sounds so fat because they still do a lot of sampling.
Yeah, we should bring them on the show then. We should bring them on the show.
100%, man.
Have them share some of that sauce in the secret sauce section, which will come.
Maybe they won't be sharing the sauce. They'll be like, no.
It's the secret sauce.
They're like Chris at Splice Loops. Come on.
That's funny. Anyway, so now that you talked about the Chocolate Puma, that was kind of maybe your first breakthrough. Talk to us about like how the Kris Kiss project kind of blew up, and maybe what you're up to in the present. And
Well, so that track was 2014. So that summer was a big summer. It was getting played everywhere. And then off the back of that, I got in studio with Don Diablo, Laid Back Luke, just a few other people around that sort of time. Just off the back of Step Back, that basically got me them opportunities at the time. So we had a track with Don Diablo was Chain Reaction, and then Laid Back Luke was Outer Space. And yeah, man, I think because I had the first track with Chocolate Puma and then followed it quickly with some big name features, I think off the back of that sort of like gave me the momentum. That gave me the momentum to move forward and got my name about, and yeah, man, gave me a bit of credibility in the EDM scene, really.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's super great to see kind of like how you came in. I definitely like didn't expect that you weren't like that new into electronic music, so it's really dope to get to
it was
know
an
the
accident.
Yeah, and again, like good move by that manager. To go.
I shout Aaron Ross, man. Big up Aaron Ross. Aaron Ross is a stellar dude, man. Proper lovely dude. Awesome. Taught me a lot of stuff, man. So big up Aaron Ross.
That's great. So now we kind of get to the present of Kris Kiss. What are you doing right now? What are your plans maybe for this summer? COVID has kind of been definitely something that artists have had to adapt to. So maybe tell us what you did to adapt through the COVID season, and tell us the present for Kris Kiss.
Well, I think a lot of producers and music people will relate to what I'm about to say. And it's like, we're on lockdown all the time. You know what I mean? We're in studio all the time. So it didn't really make much of a difference to like how I was living my life necessarily. Because I'm always in studio. But yeah, man, it just gave me some time. I think it gave a lot of people time to reflect and, look at their lives and really work out who they are and what they want and stuff like that. So that was a big part of it for me. But yeah, I've basically just been continuing with feature vocals over various different DJ producers' tracks. But I'm currently building a campaign for a solo release plan. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm very excited.
I was gonna ask you about that. So yeah, it's awesome that you mentioned that.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna be dance music, not specifically house all the time, but it's gonna be dance music. And yeah, man, I've already got probably the first. I mean, I'm gonna bring out singles to start with, and then build up to an album maybe. But
awesome.
Yeah, I've already got like the first 3 or 4 singles. So
awesome. And were you doing a lot of live shows? Was that like something that affected you because of COVID a lot, or? or not
Not
necessarily?
really, no, because I wasn't ever really doing much live stuff. Like I've done a few of the festivals, Tomorrowland and SW4 in the UK, and you know, various different ones, but that's more as turning up for one of my friends. Like say, for example, I did an SW4 with Fedi Legrand, and that's not a paid gig. I just ring them up and I'm like, yo, can I come through and perform the track? And they're like, yeah, okay. And then I just go. So I basically just force myself onto their shows.
Yeah, now that we're into shows, I mean, we got two people in this audience, maybe more that I don't know about this, Max and Kris. You know, they've both played at some of the biggest festivals. So maybe you guys can share some of the insights. How does it feel to be on that stage in front of that many people? At least for me, when I hear these stories, it always gets me pumped up. So maybe people might want to hear how it feels just to be on those stages.
I played Tomorrowland. It's funny is when I was doing all those big festivals, those were just coming up, like, you know, they were huge. But like I had, like, my dream was not like at the time Tomorrowland. Like my dream was to play Sensation White. That was like the big one in Amsterdam. And so I was like, people are like, yo, are you excited about Tomorrowland? I'm like, man, forget about Tomorrowland. I need to play Sensation. Like when you're an artist and you're coming up, if like your dream is to play like at the best, like for example, I had a two spot, actually, two places. Don't ask me why. It was Brixton Academy was like on my bucket list. O2 Arena and Sensation White Amsterdam specifically. And I did all three of those. So after that, when I did Tomorrowland main stage, it's weird. It wasn't like, it didn't feel, because it wasn't on my bucket list. It didn't feel like, but now I see all the hype. They're like, holy shit, you played Tomorrowland. And I was like, oh yeah, Tomorrowland. So I think for a lot, and that's the same thing for a lot of artists. And I'm sure Kris can relate. It's like, if you're like, for example, when I was growing up, my dream collaborations were not like, Martin Garrix, you know what I mean? It's like, damn, like I played with Prodigy one time at Creamfields. That was a big deal for me. A lot of people are like, oh, Prodigy, wouldn't it be cooler to do a collaboration with Marshmello? I'm like, no.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, I hear you, man. Because like my two, like once I started doing the house features and that from Chocolate Puma, I was like, I want to do Tomorrowland and I want to do Brixton Academy. And I did Tomorrowland in Belgium, dressed as Superman. Let me just say, yeah, it was on the Super You and Me stage.
Layback Luke's,
yeah, that's it, yeah. And we were going to get a plane, but my friends wanted to come, so we decided, let's get a car and drive to Belgium, yeah. So I got there with 0 hours sleep. I was running on about, literally. I turned up 10 minutes before I was supposed to go on. I had to throw on a Superman outfit and then and jump in front of about 20,000 people. Like
Superman drove? Why didn't you just fly, bro?
Yeah, you should have flown with your freaking...
Yeah, but then
awesome.
Brixton Academy as well. That was something I've always wanted to do because I've been to so many raves there. And then Steve Aoki, I think it was the year before, Steve Aoki invited me to his headline set at Brixton Academy, man.
Yeah.
So that was
Brixton is special, man. Walking through those
so
walls
intimate,
in the back, dude.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that insight.
What's that spot what is that spot that everybody used to go to for the after party after Brixton? It's right next to it. It's very close. I think they're closed now.
Yeah.
It used to be like this super ratchety, like small ass club.
It's quite small. Yeah. I know what you mean. I can't remember what it's called though, but I know exactly what you mean.
Oh, bro. We used to do Brixton. And then we used to party at that spot until like 10 in the morning. Dude. It was wild.
Dude, you used to get people jumping on the decks left, right, and center.
London, dude, like back in the day, like in the, I mean, I don't know how the UK scene is now, but dude, like there was a period when that scene was insane. Like when Ministry was like sick, the parties at Brixton were sick. Like there was like that period. Yeah.
Health and safety has come in
Yeah,
and fucked
yeah.
everything up, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember like you would come, and then I remember I would always fly in, and there would always be like, you know, we'd grab dinner, and it's like, yo guys, eat those steaks because we're not gonna sleep until like 12
Yeah.
the next day, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
funny,
it's
man.
wild.
Anyways, I mean, thank you so much for sharing your insight. I think it's time to listen to some demos.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, by the way, before we listen to the demos, I just wanted to kind of underline how this thing works. So we have, I don't even know if I told, maybe you guys talked about it already. So we basically have an academy that we launched, like a music school through the record label. And what we do is basically, you know, we help up and coming artists, you know, develop and take their music to the next level, essentially. And we launched it about a year ago, right around when COVID started. And initially it just started out as like kind of like maybe a fun project, and now it developed into a really big thing. And then we're actually we're launching our first physical academy in August in Dominican Republic this summer.
No
So
way.
we already have like, yeah, we have, you know, we have a ton of people flying out. So what we try to do on the academy a lot is we do a lot of these demo listening sessions, and then also, you know, go listen to each other's music and stuff like that. And we have some incredible talent on the academy, and you know, it gives an opportunity to you know, for, you know, artists like yourself to hear some of the stuff from our guys, because you know, we have kids from the academy that, you know, I see kids are on major labels now. We had guys that just joined last year, now are working with Hexagon, Spinning, like all sorts of different big labels, Musical Freedom and stuff. So we're kind of trying to be kind of like the grooming sector of electronic music. So it's also an opportunity for you to get to work or hear some of these kids before they blow up, essentially.
Oh mate,
you know?
I love that, man. Like a big part of my passion for music is also like developing, you know, artist development. Like I feel like there's a lot in there for me, you know, later on in my career, definitely, even now, to be fair.
Yeah.
I love spotting talent and trying to help them achieve.
Plus I feel like, you know, like I feel like we've all been there kind of, and I wish that, like me personally, I never had outlets where I'm like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and have these dudes listen to my stuff. You kind of just have to, with your eyes closed, figure shit out. So that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to change that and educate our community and give them as much as possible, so they don't have to go through all the bullshit that we went through, essentially.
Yeah, man. No, I like that. That's wicked.
I have like, it's really crazy ever since we started doing the academy and all the stuff that we're kind of doing with the label, because you see, like our approach is completely different with what we do with the label. We kind of go for like the educational route, and then we take it as like more of like as a media outlet, and instead of trying to be, oh look, because you know, I see a lot, you know what the problem that I see in the industry, and I'm about to get to this next thing that I'm about to say, is like I had a conversation with a really big songwriter yesterday, totally by accident. This guy works with like Max Martin, like very big, like, you know, some massive like superstars, essentially, like in the industry, Selena Gomez, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, sick.
And he found Noface Records, right? And he sent an email, and we had a really good chat. He's actually going to be on I got him to he's going to do the Noface show as well on one of the episodes. And he was telling me, he's like, yo dude, you don't understand, like in 5 years you guys are going to be bigger than some of these dudes, because a lot of these labels, they're still playing the game of like, oh, we're this, and they're not understanding that the next generation, like they don't give a fuck, like they don't care who you know what I mean. It's like,
there's no lane, like one lane, there's like multiple lanes.
Yeah, they think that they like a lot of labels, they make a big mistake in terms of like, you know, I'm not knocking on any labels over here. I'm just saying like the mistakes that they're making is they think that their brand is more important than the community itself.
Yeah.
So their brand. So the thing is, so we decided to say, hey, listen, Noface doesn't matter, Max Vangeli doesn't matter, Bobby doesn't matter, Mark doesn't matter. The community matters. That's what matters.
The network.
What matters is not like, instead of having interviews or talking about like, let me talk for an hour how badly, how much I killed it, in this country or that country, and how badass of a DJ I am, versus instead of doing that, it's like, hey, let me hear you guys out and see what questions do you have in terms of how we can help you with your careers. What I mean?
No, it's wicked,
and dude, and all of a sudden everybody started coming to us because we're simply like, we're not asking for anything. There's no like some kind of hidden agendas or anything like that. We simply want to become an outlet where a musician can come and get honest opinions and honest information about the industry. That's all it is.
Yeah,
and
with no agenda kind of thing. Like
with nothing like where it's like, hey, get this free, something, whatever. And it's like, oh, damn, okay. And then you go in you start filling the fucker out, and it's like, all you got to do is put in this credit card, but don't worry, we're not going to take it. It's like, dude, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Open network, man, I like it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what basically what we're doing. And that's why I like bringing, like, you're an awesome guy. Like I was really excited to have you on the show and have our people kind of get to know who you are and check out your music, because I feel like you have an understanding of that. You're not one of those artists who's like, oh yeah, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, a big part of me as a person is like, I've never been the type of person who, if I learn how to do something well, I don't hide how I did it from people, because I'm not afraid of like someone else like taking my shine or anything.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I had to learn everything I've taught myself, I did it in college, but then it was just trial and error for many years, man. So like, I do like to share things with people who are where I used to be, to try and help them skip a few of the stages,
That's
yeah
awesome. Yeah, sorry guys, sorry to cut you guys, but just to speed things up and have time for the whole show, let's actually start listening to some demos.
Yeah, let's do it.
Definitely an awesome conversation here. Let's do it. So
all right, come on.
what's your opinion, guys?
Sick. And by the way, Kris, before you obviously reply and say what you think and all that stuff, all of these are like academy students essentially.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
like random demos from the outside.
Yeah,
Just so
like
you
other
can see
people.
kind of like the quality of the
No,
kids
that's
that
cool,
we
man.
have.
No, I like it. I think it's cool. It's got some cool elements. It's nice and euphoric. I can imagine listening to it on a beach.
It's giving me Nora and Pure vibes. You know that?
Yeah.
VJ? I love her vibe.
Yeah,
love her
yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, man. I like it. Definitely.
I think maybe I could use like a melodic, like super melodic chill vocal maybe in the second break.
Yeah.
Just if you
Yeah,
want
all
to,
it
like,
needs
move
is
around.
all it needs is a good tasty Kris Kiss vocal, and then you're away. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
even
By the way,
realize
if you hear anything, you can let the kids know. They can send over the beats to you.
Yeah, man.
And
They'd love it. I'm sure they would love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
and,
sure.
Yeah, and my input of that's actually a great record. there is a track real quick. Mark, can you play something real quick for us? Yeah, pull it. This actually, unfortunately, by Pierce Fulton. He passed away like last month, I believe.
I'll play like only a little bit of it because I'll play a
good
bit of
buddy
it
of
just
mine.
because of copyright.
Yeah,
I'll play.
yeah.
We don't want to get copyrighted, so I'll just play like a little bit. What's the name of it?
A Kuaga. There's the track. There you go. Da, 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 da. Okay, pause it. They did a vocal version, but the hit was, it was like Ipaye, it's like some, I don't know, it's like nonsense African lyrics and stuff. I think that if you can, I heard some small elements of vocals in there. If you can implement that kind of stuff in that record, it would really, almost like a vocal euphoric hook, essentially.
Yeah, that's definitely some good feedback. Let's just move on. All right, let me know if you can hear this. Good.
What I'm about, rainbow fucking night long, till I fucking drop. Every time you see me, you know what I'm about. Fucking drop.
Sick. Kris, you gotta jump on that shit, bro.
That's
Yo,
not fire.
Dario,
This needs this one. You can kill this one, bro. Actually,
Hey, hard. Yeah, mate. I like that. Who was that? Dario.
Yeah, let me read the name out loud. That was Seijo.
Seijo. Wait,
That was
big
the
up,
artist name. Let me just
big
pull it
up,
up, pull it up
Seijo. That's a banger. We like that one.
yeah.
It's
And
an
by the
ID
way,
too, so it's not
guys, if any of you guys, obviously, if any of you guys want to either connect with Kris, obviously follow him on the gram. We have him tagged on the main. And if you guys have some fire stuff you want to send, I'm sure he is always up for listening to stuff. So
yeah, man.
Yeah,
let's
do it. All right, let's hear this one out.
Who is this?
Okay,
Mars.
that means written Mars. Soak old Grechpa. Yeah.
Grechpa.
That's a cool design.
I like this already. Yeah.
You can drop fire emojis in the chat.
Oh, damn. Okay. What?
Hey.
That was a crazy flip. I wasn't expecting that flip at the end.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, right here. What?
Yes, let's do it.
Nah, do you know what? That's different. I like it, man.
Yeah.
I feel like it could maybe have a better, maybe like an elevated mix and master, just to put everything a bit in the right. I feel like the bass and the fuzz is a bit too loud, but the whole idea is fucking sick, man. Love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's dope.
Yeah.
We'll listen to more demos later. Let's just keep moving on. With
cool.
the show and now I think it's time for we've done a lot of talking. I think it's time for a little game. I wanna test Kris's ability to remember his old songs.
You're gonna like Max. This one.
So Max did pretty good. Max did pretty good, but I played him the most filler song in his album, and he was like, "Dude, you got me there."
Bro, how are you gonna say that I did really good if I literally failed on the first one?
The first one, but I have to say, I played him like the most random, like filler.
No,
album
but
song.
you gotta be
though.
but you gotta be savage with these kids. Like, don't give it to him easy. I want this fucker to fail 50% of his own tracks.
See, I mean, if he knows all of them, it's gonna be hard.
Do you know what? I've had so many tracks since 2014 that I'm not very confident.
You're not very confident.
But let's go. No, I am confident. Let's get it. 100%, baby.
All right, let's do it. Let's go.
All right. Oh, I'm nervous, man.
Ready? So you should be able to hear it. And we'll play a little bit of it, and then you can call the name. And then if you got the name, maybe tell us a little bit of the story of the song.
Okay, right. Fuck. All right, let's
Ready?
go.
That's it.
Still trying to live my best life till I'm in the place I can't deny. Lost in the motion of
living my life. Oh, wait, is that all you're playing?
Yeah.
No use in living
my life. No use in living with no love.
No, but that's it. That's it, Mark. You
That's
gave
all
him
I
way
get.
too much.
Oh,
He doesn't remember. Yes.
Destiny.
Mac? Yes. But
Yeah.
Who did you collab with? If you get the answer,
Wyco?
that's it. Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Unlucky.
Nah, but he gave you way too much. Dude,
Nah,
you shouldn't
bro.
have even brought in the vocals. Dude, listen, you know what he did? You know what he did with me? He played the first
Yeah,
fucking hi-hat.
You
dude.
had
Like, it was
you had the extended mix in, right?
yeah, he's like, here's the extended mix. You made he's
just
like
a drum pattern at the start.
no, yeah, exactly. And he's like, I'll give you a hint. It was made in the 90s.
Fucking hell. Anyway,
Oh, that's good, man. All right, next
Two
one.
more. Let's do it.
Quick use for coconut. If you're spending any money, that's overpriced. Don't know. I'm gonna put on the show tonight. And I'm
Overdrive.
Yeah.
Yeah, Overdrive. Bonker.
Awesome. Let's do it. Let's do a few more. Let's see. Okay.
Mark might as well play the whole song. You know what I mean?
actually,
It's like,
maybe,
I mean, he's
maybe,
killing me over here.
No.
I'm, you know what I mean? It's like,
I'm really trying to get it. I'm gonna play like a song, and maybe not for this song, or maybe tell the story about it a little bit, like maybe how the song came about.
All right, what's next?
I'ma turn it up to the
That's
morning.
it.
If you can get it,
Yeah,
like
I
that,
know
that'd
that
be
one
good.
anyway. We've been going hard all week, all around the city like the metro. You gotta show love to the streets, but when we touch the stage, it's too crazy. Can't remember. We got the juice to get you go wet, coming like the Atlantic on wavy. So when I speak, you better hit the deck. Hey,
Yeah.
hit the deck.
I mean, if you know the lyrics, that is pretty
Dakashan.
awesome. How do you
No,
know
but that's where you're wrong, Mark. That's where you're wrong. I've noticed a lot of like singers, songwriters, they'll sing the whole thing and they're like, God, I can't remember the name of that one.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
he had to
telling
wait
you.
until he sang the chorus.
Yeah. That's it. So yeah,
was
that was hit the deck. Yeah.
Awesome. How did that song come about? Carter and Smack. Maybe just tell us a little bit, like just a quick
Carter and
sentences.
Smack. So I met Carter. I didn't meet him, but I got introduced to him through Chocolate Puma, actually.
Mhm.
And then they collabed. He collabed with Smack on the beat, sent it to me, and that was it. And everyone
Awesome.
had to hit the deck.
Awesome. Really trying to dig deep in your freaking. Oh god, this album is long as hell. I mean,
Play it in reverse. That would be fun.
if only that'd be awesome actually, but I don't have the downloaded songs. But if we could do that, that'd actually be insane.
Yeah.
We could play them in
What's that?
reverse and he
We'll-
would and he
We'll
finds it.
play it
in
in
reverse.
reverse.
Oh,
Yeah.
That would be cool. Nah, but we'll do that next time. We'll do that on
Next
when I come
time.
back.
I'm really trying to-
Yeah. You don't want to put them up like that.
Nah.
Coming like an earthquake in the ground. Quake in the ground. Put 'em up.
We'll play like a little bar. Remember that?
Ah. Okay.
That's good. See, that's more fun.
Ooh.
It's funny because this one has
Fuck.
way more plays
gonna
than like
guess.
the other one.
I'm gonna guess Tornado.
No!
Oh.
Damn it.
Oh.
Let's see if we can do another bar.
On the stereo, I'ma turn it up loud. Turn it up loud. Put 'em up. To white loud in the middle with the crowd.
You
I
got
let
it?
it play, man. I don't actually know, bro.
Put 'em up. Put it on the stereo and turn it up loud.
I still don't know. What is that?
Floating on a cloud, but when I'm on stage, I'm shutting it down.
Oh, shutting it down. Yeah.
Do you remember the artist you worked with?
Luke. No, it wasn't Luca, was it? I don't actually know that one, bro.
Maddox.
Yeah, of course.
That's interesting because this song has like more streams than maybe like some of the other songs that you guessed on the spot.
Yeah, I know, man.
And the last one should be easy. That song is one of my personal favorites by you. Like big fan of this song. Like, every show that I play, like even like
what the next one you mean?
The next one, yeah.
Right.
It's like my favorite song. And I'm a big fan of this song. Maybe you can also tell maybe the story of how that came about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my body. Yeah. Great.
It's time to start the party. We're here to misbehave.
Now this is so cool.
Go on, Mark.
Yeah.
Mark has got the moves,
shoulder shuffle. Yeah, that was Steve Aoki and Showtek.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Did you get to work? Have you met the Showtek guys?
No, not yet.
Yeah, they're cool dudes. I had some.
I might actually
wild
reach out
nights
to them,
with
man. Oh, really? Yeah.
In Ibiza, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
No, they Steve and Showtek hooked up on that, and then Steve just hollered me and was like, "Yo, do you want to do another one?" I was like, "Yeah, okay."
You're like, did you give him a hard time first? You're like, I don't know, Steve, maybe not this time. Or you jumped in right away. You're like, yes, please send it to me.
Yeah. Well, the first track with Steve Aoki was Anthem. It was Steve and Hardwell. That one was mad because there was they were supposed to release the track with another vocal, and then like 3 weeks before the release, they didn't like it anymore for some reason or something. I don't know.
Came through.
Yeah, well, there was like 40 vocal submissions for that track, and they chose mine out of 40.
Oh,
crazy!
Must have killed it. I mean, you did kill it.
Well,
That's crazy.
Yeah, I just shout loads of shit.
Just before we move into the secret sauce section, I want to give Max a chance to redeem himself. So we're gonna play one of his songs.
Oh,
all right.
Let's see if we can get. We're gonna play one bar.
All right, one bar. Good.
If he knows one bar.
I'm gonna probably fail again. That's let me know, bro. I actually know that one. Yeah. Whenever, yeah.
It's a good song.
I wrote that in Dominican Republic. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. A cool break from all the talking. I think that we've got to meet you, and now it's time to maybe steal some of your secret sauce. Not steal, but learn. Let's learn from the one like Kris Kiss. So yeah, we're gonna move to the section called the secret sauce, and I kind of want to talk about you. Maybe you can talk about your workflow and working, beginning with composition, maybe tips that you do to write vocals. If there's any people that write vocals in here, maybe they appreciate that. Maybe production, maybe also getting placements. Kind of just run us through your process of making music and share any secret sauce you might have.
Perfect, man. Well, first of all, I'll say there's no right or wrong way of doing it ever, because everyone's different. I approach different songs in different ways at different times. Sometimes I write the lyrics before I've even started a beat, or before I've got a beat, I'll just write lyrics. All I need is the tempo. But yeah, generally speaking, I normally just get sent a beat and then I adapt to that. But I just basically just play it on repeat for a minute and just see how it makes me feel. I think of words, concepts, ideas. Like, it's always good to start with a concept for the song before anything, because I know a lot of people, especially in rap, it's easy to just start writing shit, and just go and just carry on as go with the flow of it. But I've worked out later on that coming up with a strong concept first is makes things a lot easier, and the results are normally better because you've got something to bounce off of with the lyrics and with the energy of it all. But yeah, man, so I normally, if it's a feature, then I'm adapting to someone else's beat. So I just work out how it makes me feel, come up with a concept, and then go at it, man.
I've heard some singers that say that they get the beat and they'll start like kind of like mumbling a melody and then trying to figure out some words to fit the melody. Is that also maybe what you do? Like start like kind of mumbling and pick and choose the right words and
Yeah,
then come up with a concept?
yeah. I mean, in the last year or 2 years, I've actually been doing a lot of songwriting. I've been writing for K-pop bands, Japanese bands as well, and a technique that I've seen a lot of people do is they actually just put the microphone on record and then they just hum and freestyle melodies just off the top of their head, and then they go back through it, find the ones that they like, and then they change it to the words. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's an
Awesome, yeah.
interesting way of doing it, because when you listen back to it, it's kind of weird because it's just gibberish. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I'm glad that you mentioned that you like send beats, because get sent beats and then kind of decide what you sing on. So there's a lot of producers over here. A lot of the community is producer based. So could you give them maybe some tips on the best ways to contact singers, the best ways to find singers like you essentially, and what's like the most professional way of dealing both business side of things and like artist
yeah,
side of things, and also in terms of the music things
well,
that
I
you look
would
for?
say definitely, if you're taking it seriously, I'd say definitely have a manager who knows about the business side of things, because I've signed deals before that I shouldn't have signed. And if I had a manager at the time to go through it, then it would have benefited me in the long term. So I'll say get a manager. It doesn't have to be someone who's experienced necessarily. It can just be someone who's got a lot of knowledge in the business side and is passionate about music. As far as contacting people, it literally, like, the game has changed now. It's not so professional anymore. It's like online. It's like the world is in our fingertips now. Do you know what I mean? So we can reach out directly.
Usually DMing
Yeah,
Instagram
just
so
DM
easy,
the shit out of everyone, man. That's what I'd say. Like, pester them, like, to the point where they're like, fucking hell, I'm gonna have to reply now. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's like, tenacity is like the best word in the world. Like, you have to be tenacious. And for anybody who doesn't really understand what that means, it just means keep pushing all the time. Keep pursuing leads, keep reaching out proactively to DJs, producers, not just huge ones. Sometimes people who are like, middle level can also have a benefit. So yeah, man, I just say be very proactive and be tenacious. And I've found another thing as well, a thing that's worked quite well for me, is instead of sending text messages, I'll send a voice note to people where I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, proper animated, like, so they can hear your voice, they can hear your energy.
It's an easier way to connect, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't
like
even,
that idea.
I rarely use, like, because we work with Kris a lot, we've been kind of, getting our direction down, but I don't remember last time I actually sent you a demo through email. It's like so much like iPhone app messages and back and forth.
That's
and
what
I feel
man.
like, I feel like
it's direct, isn't it? Like,
and and I was talking to, I'm just gonna like, I was again going back to that guy, the really famous songwriter that I was talking to, and we discussed that really briefly. Is that a lot of you guys, especially listening now, you got to understand is the industry is so fast now that guys, that if I sometimes when I have a beat or like something really good, and you're the first guy that comes into my, not you particularly, I'm saying if a particular artist comes in my mind first, a lot of guys seem to think where they're like, okay, cool, let me get home, I'll send you a reply in a couple of days. I might already be recording that fucker with someone else.
Like, that's another
no
big
time.
thing for me. Big thing is time efficiency. If you can be quick with your replies to people, with your turnaround times, if you can find ways to speed up the process of everything, then you're getting more stuff done quicker and you're on to the next thing. But that also doesn't mean rush. Like, you still want to make sure you've got quality. But that's another thing that like a lot of people have told me that they're happy with working with me, is because they'll send me a beat and I'll send them a finished vocal within like an hour or 2 hours. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, whoa. And then, you know, as long as you don't just send it and in a rush and you're happy with what you've done, then I'd say the quicker you can get things back to people, the better, because they're still fresh in their mind. And you need to capitalize on that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and for sure, a lot of projects honestly, get lost like that. Like a lot of projects will get lost with time. Sorry.
I honestly think that you had so much success with a lot of these artists is because, like, just, you know, talking to you for this past year, like you and I have been like having a relationship, is like you are so like professional and responsive and on point, like whenever you need to be reached and whatnot. And I think that's a big bonus for you, and that's a big that should be the cream of the crop for any artist in the industry, honestly.
I agree, because, you know, when you kind of, you lose the energy the longer you're waiting for a reply. Do you know what I mean? And if I've sent something to someone and 2 weeks have gone past and I haven't got a reply, I'm just like, do you know what, fuck this guy, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know people are busy and I get it, but, you know, to not reply at all, you know, or just say, look, I'm going to be busy for the next couple of weeks, I'll holler you. You got to be on point with your communication with people. But yeah, definitely proactively reach out to as many people as you can. Just be tenacious.
Yeah, we work in the industry of literally ghosting. It's like, it's so weird because I see it so much. And the thing is, and I can't tell if sometimes artists do that because they're like, oh, I'm not prepared, or I don't have something ready, or something like that. I feel like the EDM and I don't know if it's other communities as well, but in the EDM community, I see a lot of people kind of just moving the way they think they should be moving, and that really hurts guys in the long run. I see guys falling off because they're not being responsive, or they're not being transparent with other people that they're working. Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, it's like, if you don't shoot your shot, then you ain't gonna score a goal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's it. So like, I've been guilty of that in the past, where I've never thought anything's good enough, and, you know, I'm like, nah, it's not good enough, I need to do something else, something, you know. But there comes a point where you can get into that routine and you can't get out of it. So the sooner you can break out of like the procrastinating and just start pumping stuff out there, even just to get feedback on, not necessarily for collaborations and stuff, but just to get feedback on. Once you start putting stuff out there, you'll feel a lot more comfortable, because, you know, before music gets released, people ain't judging, you know what I mean? They're not going to judge you if it's something that's not a finished product. They will get the idea if it's the right person, you know?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for that insight. I actually want to touch on a different topic. I want to maybe get more technical. So could you maybe like share some secret sauce that you have on the secret sauce section? Either on maybe mixing things that you've learned that have maybe helped you in terms of the sound that you've been achieving.
Sure.
You know, anything really. Just we're here to learn from you, so the floor is yours.
Yeah, sure. Well, mainly vocals is the main thing I've been doing. I've only really got into production.
So let's focus on that. Then let's have like a focus on vocal production, vocal mixing, maybe.
Yeah, so I use Logic Pro. I've got a channel strip setting for basically every vocal I do, and then I just tweak it a little bit. But what I do is I have an EQ to start with, cutting out a lot of the low end frequencies, and maybe a little bit of the high. I use auto tune EFX if I'm gonna apply auto tune to it. If not, then I don't. I use a CLA 2A compressor in
Love
mono.
That compressor. Is it the Waves version of it?
Yeah, that's the one. And then a limiter, a little bit of reverb, a de-esser, and some delay. That's on the initial track. And then all of my vocal tracks I feed through to a bus, and then I have a main vocal bus where that is, hang on, let me just get this up.
Yeah, we could definitely do. We tested before the sound and it was complicated, but could you just share the screen without sharing sound and kind of just maybe like show some of that?
Okay.
And then if it's a problem, then we'll just keep chatting about it. But if you could actually just share screen
let's
and
give
let's
it
not
a
share
go.
sound. Sharing sound gets complicated and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I won't share the sound.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
right. So yeah, here you go. Look, channel, EQ, auto tune, CLA, limiter, reverb that comes with waves, de-esser, and the H delay.
You definitely love like using waves plugins. Right?
Yeah, definitely. When I channel it through to a bus, so look, say this would be the main vocal. I'll go here. This is my main one there. And then from that, I'll go stereo output of that channel. I'll put through to an auxiliary.
Yeah. So bus compression is something definitely that's important.
Yeah.
I personally love a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but this is the thing. I don't send, because a lot of the time when you're doing something like parallel compression on like a kick drum, for example, you'll put a compressor on a bus and then you'll only send it there. Whereas on my vocals, I put the whole channel through to a bus and then out of the stereo. So basically, it's, as you can see it there, and then if it ever loads, you'll see.
So sometimes it is like it can get confusing because for some reason both of the ways of doing these are called bus, but there's a difference between like what you would do as a send, kind of like what you used to like maybe put your reverb or something as sending a track.
Yeah.
Send, but then
yeah,
that actual
because that's what that, and then
separate.
you can automate that. You can you can apply more or less. But with putting it through a bus, it just means you can add multiple channels, tracks through that same thing, and it will compress and apply all the effects. So yeah, on the main vocal output, I've got the glue, which is another compressor.
I love the plugin.
Yeah, this one's sick. This adds a lot of warmth, and then a vocal lead, smooth radio style. CLA vocals on top of that, which adds a little bit more sub to it, a bit more high end, some compression, bit of reverb, and a stereo. You can also add a little delay there as well, but I don't tend to do that. And then, yeah, if I want to add, so I'll have one bus channel for the main, and then I'll put another one for the backing, and the backing vocals will be wider and quieter, maybe a little bit more compressed, but quieter. So the main vocal comes through. But yeah, that's basically the same thing I've been doing since the beginning, really.
Really, that's awesome. You
Yeah,
got
yeah.
that sound.
I mean,
you got that template, right? Do you use that like as a template every time, so you don't have to reload the plugins all the time?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it might not be technically the right way to do things or whatever, but it just works. It just seems to work for me. And I'm always trying to learn more. I'm always trying to find new ways of stepping up the quality of what I'm doing. So yeah, man. But as far as like a sort of template for a solid vocal, that's what I do.
Thank you so much.
Do you do a send? Sorry, I have a question. Do you do a on the CLA the CLA vocals? Is that a send bus or is that on the channel?
No, that's on the channel. So
yeah,
I'll have excuse me, I'll have it going 100% through that channel. Yeah,
dude.
And then it goes from the track to the main vocal bus and then output.
Master.
Have you ever tried? Have you ever tried CLA? Have you ever tried putting CLA guitar instead of vocals on your voice? Try it.
Max Vangeli shared that sauce in the first episode.
Oh,
he said
yeah.
CLA
People ask me sometimes, because sometimes people ask me, how do you get your vocals to be like pop out through the mix and stuff? And I was like, I actually don't use the CLA vocals. I use the CLA guitar instead of CLA vocals.
Yeah, man. No, I like that. I like that. Yeah, I will do.
Awesome. Dope. Let's actually listen to some demos. There's a lot of demo submissions. So hopefully
we got Newcastle in the house, yeah.
bitch, bitch.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to fighting with me, you will always go down. I'm a bitch, bitch. I'm a bitch, bitch.
Yeah.
I'm a bitch.
That's a cool groove.
Aye,
That's
the mix,
UK
that
vibes
mix
right
is
there.
that mix is nice, man. Thumping, warm, you know, sounds nice in the ears, man. I like that.
I hear that. I hear that playing in the UK for sure. Definitely.
Oh,
the
yeah.
instrumental vibes. Yeah, it's very.
And that's
UK.
another thing as well. I love hearing like provocative vocals, you know, over like dance music, even if it's like almost sometimes kind of aggressive, not in like an offensive way necessarily, but just it just brings an edge to it, you know, like an attitude.
Sick.
Yeah,
sick,
nah,
really sick
Nita,
record.
big up. I like that one, man.
Let's keep it doing. Let's keep it going. Let's go more maybe to
yeah.
the top. There's a lot of demos in here. I'm just kind of like randomly scrolling and
Produce what I started out with, Melbourne Bounce. Yeah, definitely aware that this track still needs work. Yeah, man.
That's interesting.
That's I think
man.
the melody's cool. It's kind of bouncy. I would maybe layer it more, have it be like super like
it needs to like the elements are all there to be a great song. Just needs a bit more work on the sounds, fattening it up a bit. But yeah, definitely a good idea, man. I like it.
Yeah, that lead quickly, and then we move on to the next one. Is like that lead needs to be stacked like crazy. So it's like and then you can have it pumping and stuff. So
and a bit messed up as well, like, you know, some distortion, like not too clean.
They have a super powerful sound, or layer it more so that it can have more power. We're gonna go from the bottom now. Yeah, we're gonna lay less of the songs. We'll try and get through all of them. I think maybe there must have been like a mistake exporting it. I hear it super muffled.
Yeah. I
So
think well, he said it does need a good EQ, and I think
Yeah.
that's definitely the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the groove is good,
the
though.
groove,
It's a
the
groovy,
groove
it's
is
a groovy
sick,
beat
yeah.
though. Yeah, it's a groovy beat.
Let's keep it going, yo.
Rivera.
Yay.
Oh, go back to the beginning of the vocal. That's sick.
Yeah. Wild.
Opinions. That's dope. That was
Yeah, I love
the chords and everything are wicked in that.
The vocals are sick. I think that there needs to be more connection of that vocal with the drop itself, because it sounds like but I really love that vocal is sick to me. Like,
Yeah,
I'd go way deeper on the drop on this particular one, because this one, the drop sounds like it's kind of future bounce, but that vocal could be, you know, if I heard pianos coming in, I'd lose my mind. You know what I mean?
I also think in terms of the low end, I think that the bass should be either louder or like more like present, because the low end was mostly that kick.
There's a lot of highs. Bass. There's a lot of highs and a lot of mids there. Just needs to be made a bit more deeper.
And Chris and I are listening to using the same headphones, so we can hear the exact same mix.
Same mix.
You know, I have those same headphones, and I don't know why, but I could never learn to appreciate the low end on those. They're just way too weird for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're
like
very,
I'm wearing pillows.
they're too good. Like the low end is so like it feels like when I'm mixing. I feel like I'm mixing in space when I wear those headphones.
Yeah.
They sell them open and closed, so maybe if you have the closed ones, they're like almost noise canceling. Maybe that made you feel
because you have the you're wearing the open ones, Mark, aren't you?
Closed.
Oh, these are closed.
Yeah,
Okay.
closed.
Yeah.
All right, JBR. Yeah. See, again, all the elements are there for a really great track. It's just about refining the sounds. One technique as well that a lot of people don't do is bringing like a reference track into your project and playing it alongside, like playing it in comparison. So because for example, that track there's got all the elements to be a great track, but then if you played it next to a song that's like in the industry or whatever, you'd be able to work out where to put things and move things.
And like something that I've done, I love that trick because I've used it in the past, and like I'll take like a reference track and like put an EQ on it and start analyzing specific frequency bands of that track. Listen to only the low end of that reference track, only the high end, and you can like really like put close attention and realize cool things they're doing, kind of like get inspired. Yeah.
So that particular track, I agree. Low end sounds really good. What I would focus on is figuring out, because the rhythms are kind of all over the place over there, figuring out the rhythms on that particular record. And then when it comes to reference tracks, honestly, I started doing that. Like I've been a hard head, I guess, and was not doing it for many years. And I've noticed I've been fixing my own problems because I'd listen to a track of like, a buddy of mine or whatever that gets released on another label. And when you're just listening to your own thing, you're like, oh yeah, my high end or low end is great. Then you drop that one and you're like, oh shit. Yeah. But one thing, everybody, kids, you got to learn this. When you're doing a reference track in your project, you gotta make sure that your send is not to your master, because I see a lot of guys throwing it in there and they're comparing
and it would go through
their
master.
It would go through their master. Yeah.
And then they're not compressed.
No, it's like it's so loud, and they sit there for hours trying to balance that shit.
Yeah.
So
so reference tracks, but without any master effects. Yeah.
I was going to mention now that we kind of give feedback, guys, like in the audience, start like sending in demos either through the WhatsApp group of Noface Academy or through the chat and Zoom. Some of you guys have already been doing, because after that we're going to be doing a little Q&A section. So make sure
you're talking about ready. Questions, not demos.
I mean, did I say demos? My bad.
Yes, I was like, Jesus, Mark, what are you doing?
Start sending
questions. No, I already see. I already see a lot of questions. We have a question like best strategies on finding managers.
We'll discuss.
People are asking if you've been promoted by Pete Tong. No, don't answer that. We'll get to
answer now in the Q&A section.
Find out later.
Throwing ups down on my footsteps, and I hate this fucking concept of darkness inside. I don't know where to hide. I run from the pain, but the voices keep staying.
I like it.
Cut throw it, save. Death, she calls my name. I'm standing in my grave, barefoot on the ground, with my soul right there. Calls my name. In my grave.
Yeah.
Yo, that was really dope. Max was saying before in another demo how they should have played with the vocal and the drop, and this person did it really well.
Yeah. By the way, this is the original vocal is a Noface release. We were doing a remix contest, so this is actually
dope.
a remix.
Yeah, the rain
So
remix.
that's
Yeah.
so yeah. So when you guys were listening to the vocal, this vocal is an original vocal on Noface Records.
Sick.
So yeah, super sick. I love that one. You guys can continue with the feedback. Sorry. What'd you guys think about the drop?
Yeah, I like it, man. The mix is nice. Vocal sounds strong over it. It's got enough space. It's got bounce. Love it.
Dope. In episode 1, when it gets ready, you guys can check it out. But Max was talking a lot about filling up little like gaps between chords, and like here can be a lot in the drop.
Yeah.
And I think that comment could apply here, because there's like a little spaces in between those drops where you could have like a really cool drum fill, or like a really cool like synth. Like
that's a good idea. I like that. And then but then also on the flip side to that as well, sometimes the silence is golden, you know, in certain parts. If you can, find a nice balance of it. But yeah, man, I like it, man. Sounds sick.
So this demo by Seacockers, I've heard it. Like I was scrolling through this, I heard this. I think this is gonna be fire.
This guy's gonna.
Well, you a song boy, mix that up a little bit, a little sweet. I mean the people they get nice. I was with a fling rock stone, so pack up your pants and make your way up. We be. Everybody out there say, I mean everybody in the community. Where we say.
That low end sounds crazy.
Yeah. That was
nice.
The vocal was cool too.
Yeah, man.
That was
cool. Up the sound way.
That was also kind of playing with like that rap versus EDM that Kris loves, to do. So that was
you need to just start doing some of that Jamaican shit, bro.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, like I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of like in London, the language is like crazy. It's like it's not just Jamaican. It's like a mix. Like there's like a roadman language in London where it's kind of like it's like bits of Jamaican, and it's just bits of like, it's just various different things. But I'm a white British man, like, I'm like half Irish and Hungarian, but then like sometimes I fling in some roadman shit, and it just sounds cool, man. You know what I mean? Just got to keep it real. As long as you can pull it off without sounding weird, then you're good.
yeah. Right.
Just got to put some sauce on it, man. Just add a bit of swag to it, and you're good.
Well, I think EDM is the perfect industry to do all of that, because if you try it and go into their world, they're like, buddy, no.
Yeah, nah. I'm not gonna start jumping on dance floor, bro. But I would love to. No, I would love to. I've written various different genres and stuff, Afrobeat and dancehall and whatnot, and I love all that stuff. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna start jumping on and acting like a Jamaican. No, definitely not.
All right, let's get to the last section. We'll finish the demos later, but let's get to the last section of the episode. Thank you so much, Kris, for staying with us for so long. It's been an awesome episode so far. But right now it's time for the audience to ask the questions. Enough about me. Let's get the audience asking some questions here. I have followed you since the Hardwell and Steve Aoki collab. Between all of your massive collaborations, who was the easiest to collab with, and who was the most difficult to collab with? That's a good question.
The most difficult is Max, because I'm slow as fuck.
Yeah.
But I'll get
it's hard to say who's the most difficult without like offending anyone. Do you know what
Let's
I mean?
get to the easiest then.
But, okay, the easiest people.
But we can say, but the most difficult, you could say like the most like anal when it comes to most perfectionist, essentially. You know what I mean? That could be.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I think the easiest people to work with, Chocolate Puma, really cool guys, really easy to work with, really fast. Got to shout them out, man, because they're just absolute legends. Who else? Don Diablo was quite tough to work with, not because he did anything, but it was my first time writing in a studio on the spot with an artist, so I was quite nervous at the time, and he was very big even then now, and now he's just astronomical. But yeah, man, I remember it was difficult because I was probably too nervous at the time, and I felt a lot of pressure. So yeah, man. But then we ended up doing Chain Reaction, turned out all right. But yeah,
Awesome.
that's it. Yeah.
Garrett asks here, has Kris ever been promoted by Pete Tong?
I'm pretty sure that Step Back would have been played by Pete Tong. I wouldn't say promoted as an artist, but he's probably spun a couple of my records. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big Pete
Oh,
discovered your
Pete.
boy over here.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah?
he discovered me, bro. Yeah, he used to have do you remember Bedroom Bedlam on BBC Radio 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So I was a winner of that, and when I got that first place, that's when I got signed to Chris Lake, because Chris and Pete used to be really tight back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's dope.
Yeah,
so before Bad Monkey has a question here, and he also sent a demo, Bad Monkey, so we'll listen to it later. But he has a question. You mentioned a lot how finding a manager was huge in your career, right, Kris? So
Yeah.
how can we find a manager, trusted one, of course? So tips on that.
Yeah. Well, what I'd say is do your research, man. Find people online, ring up labels, independent labels. You know, speak to as many people as you can. Sometimes the best manager to have is someone that's really close to you as well. But it does help, of course, if they have musical knowledge in the business. But yeah, I wouldn't say, necessarily need a manager at the start of your career, because the most important thing is finding your sound and perfecting your craft. But yeah, once you are serious about putting stuff out and trying to, release stuff, then definitely just do research and just reach out to people who who are in the music industry, or if people are studying music, or you can ring up colleges. You can, there's a whole world online of information for us at our fingertips. So
a lot
I would
of
just
people
say
are
be
studying-
proactive.
A lot of people study like literally in college, or study like artist management, and a lot of people's dream is just to be a manager. So if you can maybe spot these people that want to be managers, and pitch them your music, pitch them your artist project.
Exactly,
that could be a successful way.
And like I say, you got to be tenacious, man. You got to keep banging on them doors, man.
100%. All right, Django says here, creativity versus mixing. What is most important? He knows. I know both, but that depends on the artist.
What's this?
Opinion. So creativity versus mixing, I guess, importance of like good music, or
what is most important. I know both, but that depends on the artist. Right.
Exactly.
Well, I think they're both just as important as each other, firstly. But then that being said, you can always get someone else to mix your stuff. You can't get someone else to be creative for you, So to be creative is the initial ingredient to like building a song. So for me, the creativity is probably the most important thing at the start. But then if you're gonna try and get music to professional platforms, major labels, put it up on Spotify, you want to make sure that mix is popping. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think they're both equally as important, but they work in conjunction with each other.
Awesome. Let's look at some more. We got here Bad Monkey again. Kris, if you started with music today, how could you plan your music career which you have currently? So could you? I guess he's trying to mean, how would you, if you started music today, how would you change? Would you have done?
So if Kris started today, how would I plan my music career? So what would I do if I started today?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, it's a tough one, that, because
I can answer that. You wouldn't start your music career. Joking.
No. Yeah, well,
I wake up every day, I'm like, what the hell are we doing? Like, it's like, musicians, it's like, it's a difficult question, because we can always say, like, I always, like, when people ask me, they're like, hey, would you do something? I feel like in order to succeed, you have to fail. many times.
I
Like
agree.
if you like, I see a lot of guys that, you know, pop off, like even like for you, maybe it was a great thing, but I almost feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, for example, one of my, okay, this is really crazy. One of my first shows internationally I ever did was opening up for Swedish House Mafia at Brixton Academy. I can't say that that was necessarily a good thing. I was, you know, shitting in my pants. I was so worried. And I can't say that my set was necessarily great. But then at the same time, it's like the same thing with you. You know, you came off with a gold record, but then you have a gold record and you're like, yeah, okay, we're going for platinum next. And God's like, no, Kris, you got to sit down for a second. You know what I mean?
Well,
and that's a bitch.
What I'll say is, what your heart desires and what the right thing to do can not always be the same thing. You have to be smart with the opportunities that you've got in front of you, with the people that you know. You know, there's no point for me, for, you know, a couple of years, I was like, yeah, all right, I've done a bit of house, but now I want to do what I want to do. But then, of course, the platforms I've already reached through the house, they're not going to take a hip hop record and release it with my name on it. Do you know what I'm saying? So what I would say is you have to be smart about like the decisions that you make. And sometimes, you know, like if I had it my way from the beginning, I would have been a pure like grime hip hop rapper. Like that would have been me. And if I could have been successful in that from the jump, then I would have stuck with that probably. But I got presented with this opportunity. Something happened off the back of it. And it's important not to be trapped in your own mind about how you see your career going. You've always got to be open-minded. You've always got to try new things. But if I was to start today, what would I do? I'd probably do like trappy stuff, a bit of R&B. You know, I love my R&B, man. R&B. I'm a saucy dude when I you know, when I get the drink out and just chill listening to music. I love the R&B, man. So yeah. No, I don't know. I wouldn't. I honestly, I don't know. I can't answer that. How would I start now? Probably the same way I started in the beginning, man. But then who knows? You just got to be able to adapt.
I see a lot of guys jumping on like early on their careers. They're jumping on these like trend wagons and things like that. And
yeah,
I personally think that and I'm talking about producers, not like singers or songwriters or whatnot per se, but because, you know, if you're a singer songwriter, like you kind of want to be laying down your vocals on things that are relevant with the relevant producers. But what I'm saying is, like, I see a lot of young producers who are like, oh, yo, I'm gonna be like, you know, I'm gonna make stuff like Don Diablo. And the thing is, like, if you love it, like if you love that sound, you should make that sound. But when I started out, I was like, dude, I was in love making stuff that I truly love, and I feel like that's the reason why it popped off. My sound started becoming shit when I started following all these other kids. The other kids are like, yo, you should make something like this. I'm like, yo, fuck that guy. You know what I mean? Like, let him do his thing. You know what
like
I mean?
We're all individuals, man. And I think the sooner you can tap into something that you know, is true to you as a person and put that through your music, that's when you're going to stand out from the crowd. Because there's a million, you know, big house tracks out there, but it's the ones that stick out that you're gonna remember, you know. And big up Django SP as well. He said, "Thanks, Kris. That's a good answer, man. Appreciate it." Big up Django, yeah. Ow.
Let's go into the last question before we listen to some demos and wrap this thing up. So we're talking about managers a lot today, and you know how that played an important part in your career. So what do you think of self-managing in the music industry?
Well,
you mentioned it before, but let's get into
that. Well, I've actually been managing myself for the last 2 years, I think, 2-3 years maybe. I think it's a good idea if you know about the right things to do in regards to contracts, promotion, setting a campaign plan, organization, proactiveness, all of these things. Managing is its own art, I think. And you have to be like, I'm not the most organized person in the world. I'm a mad music man creative, you know? So I'm not as organized as a great manager should be. But yeah, if you can keep organized, if you can set deadlines, make plans for yourself, be proactive, learn as much stuff about the business and the industry as you possibly can, then I think self-managing, especially nowadays, because of social networks and how connected we all are, it's a great way to go, because you're learning more, and you'll grow as a person, definitely. But you just have to be careful not to rush into signing things without getting real professional advice. But yeah, man, I think you can definitely manage yourself. You just have to make sure that you're on point with, you know, the business side of it.
And I think a good point that you brought up is that if you learn to manage yourself first, and then when you get a manager, you're gonna know what good managing is and what bad managing is, because you've done it yourself.
Yeah, and managers aren't gonna they aren't gonna like force you to do stuff. You know, it's up to you to provide them with the tools that, you know, to be able to get you in their meetings and get you the deals, or, you know, collaborations. That, you know, if you learn how to manage yourself from the beginning, then you'll already provide a manager with more stuff to use to make your career more successful.
Yeah, awesome. I think that honestly, like, a lot of people ask this question, and I think that management, there's there's two ways about it. It's like, you either have your like little team of either your best friend or whatever, but I think that the right manager, if you're looking for a really good manager, majority of the time, that manager will find you. You know, like, you just got to focus on your music. Like, I see a lot of guys that have not had one single record that has done literally anything, and they spent half a month trying to find somebody else to fix their problem. Like, problem number one, music not good enough. Problem number two, management not good enough. You know what I mean?
This is what I'm saying.
A manager,
manager is just a middleman. A lot
manager
of the time.
is not going to come and fix your music problems. You know what I mean?
The hardest thing, the most important thing above anything, is to work your ass off until you are the best that you think you can be, you know? And that comes with just sheer hours and hours, days and days, positive mindset, you know, learning as much as you can. And yeah, just creating something that's honest to you and that you believe has, you know, it has to fit in somewhere. You know, it can be an individual sound, it can be unique, but you have to have a plan behind it. There's no point just making music just whatever you feel like each day, because it's okay if you want to have like a creative period where you're just trying things out, but generally speaking, you want to be very regimented in your plan. So when you're making music, you know, you have to sort of have an idea of where it's going to fit in the current climate, you know, because it matters.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for this awesome Q&A, awesome insight. Let's listen to some of the last demos and wrap this up. What we're gonna do, just to make things easier, and not spend here on 2 hours listen to all the demos.
Just quickly, Bad Monkey has asked again, like, for example, if the Chocolate Puma track didn't exist, how would I make a plan? And yeah, I was quite lucky to have had that success from that first track, definitely. But I would say if that didn't happen, then I would have, you know, I would have just worked out where my place is in the music industry, and then built the music, and then built the plan. And like I said, just been proactive, speak to as many people as you possibly can, just have a positive mindset, man, and just keep pushing.
Awesome. So what I was saying is we're gonna listen to the demos of the people that are in the audience, just to make it easier and not have to listen to maybe all of them. So Bad Monkey is here, so his demo is next.
Let's go, Bad Monkey. I like the logo.
Can you hear it? You can hear it?
Woo! Taking up the place, breaking that all night. Taking up the place, breaking that all night.
That's dope.
Deep. That's mad.
You know what I love about Bad Monkey? He also sent in a demo last episode, and what I love about him is that his drops have so much variety. Like his songs have like a part with vocal chop, a part with a melody, a part with like cool bass. It's like you make like 3 drops into one. Yeah, you make like 3 drops and put it into one so well.
Sounds dope. I think with that same sort of style of production, maybe simplified a little bit, would be like really sick as well. Like that track's quite a unique track. It's not necessarily a mainstream track, but the sounds and the way that it's produced has the potential, with the right production, to be something that gets used in the industry. 100%.
Love it.
Super sick record.
All right, next one is Django. Django's been here since the beginning. Shout out to Django, asking some dope questions, sending a demo. Let's listen to him. Yeah, that was a cool groove.
Yeah, I like it. It's got some.
Django's got some wild. Like, you should check out his stuff. Like, he makes a lot of hip hop beats also, and it kind of like trap.
I can see the hip hop influences though. You can really like tell the drums especially.
Yeah, definitely.
His sound design is wild. Like,
I like how the chords like have like a pitch bend to them, like one, like automated with like an LFO or something in sound design. That's really dope. I like that a lot.
Yeah, really sick.
Like it.
Oh, let's play Badger. Badger's from the UK.
Yeah.
Oh, you can tell because he said, "Hey, fam." Fam is such a UK thing, man. What's good, fam? What's good? Oh, let it run, man.
Let's go make no commitments. Watch the sun turn into the moon.
Oh, that's good.
Sounds like Ed Sheeran.
I've got nothing else to do. As long as I'm with you, I've got nowhere else to be. So let's waste the day away together. Let's waste the day away together.
Go on, Badger.
He says he's still working on it. Needs layers, needs reverb,
Honestly,
blah, blah, blah.
there's a decent track here, but I continue to shit all over it and make it worse every time I touch it. Nah, I hear you, bro. Been wrestling with this track and it's gonna end me. What a legend.
Bro,
mate,
but
I hear you, bro.
but dude, but it sounds great. It actually, like, that drop was like, at first I thought it was gonna, because I was really hoping it wasn't going to go for the typical stabby patterns of some like nonsense, but all of these like whistle here, something else there. This sounds very original. Like, I think that drop, I think you got the drop, honestly.
Yeah. And I just feel like the drop, there's one bass that comes in, which I feel is a bit too high, like maybe like an octave down, just to bring it a bit more fatness, or add an octave below it or something, just a bit more meat in the bass on the drop. But now, honestly, man, sounds great.
And
I like
he
it.
always gets
Big up
and
Badger.
he always gets original vocal recordings with like artists and stuff like that. So these are not like
Yeah, that
sample
vocal is good
packs.
as well, man. I like that. I like that
Oh.
vocal.
Yeah, I love the guitar as well. And if you played that was a sample. I think that was a cool. I mean, the beginning was just super melodic, super fresh to the ear. So
Yeah.
next demo is by Bastian. Listen to this thing.
Let's go, Bastian. Yeah.
Oh,
Big up, Bastian. Oh, I like that. I like that. Very professional sounding mix.
Yeah, that low
Um,
end sounds popping.
Yeah, that drop sounds meaty
Mm-hmm.
with a solid vocal on that, mate. You got to win.
That is true. Yeah, that's awesome. If I could
It
just say
sounds like
something.
it sounds like an OG Kris Kiss record for
Yeah,
sure.
bro. Hey, hit me up, bro.
To them.
Yeah.
Chris, you should definitely drop
Yo,
your promo email or something.
By the
so
way,
people can,
like I said,
yeah, maybe
guys,
something.
by the way, if you guys want, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say if you have either an email or if you want them to DM, like a lot of these producers, you know, because especially like you're working on your solo stuff, I can almost guarantee you that a lot of these guys are down to produce music for you, man.
Well, listen, I'm not a producer. I don't claim to be necessarily a great producer. I can create great ideas, but yeah, I would love to hear what people have got. I'm always open to listening, and it'll be great to meet someone who's, you know, hungry, willing to work, has time of, you know, is time efficient, and yeah, wants to create some magic, man. Because I'm going to be bringing out solo records as well. So yeah, man, let's get it. I'll put my email in the thing.
Yeah, put the email in the chat, and we can't wait to hear maybe some of those solo Kris Kiss demos in the end.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got Austin here next.
Okay, I'm putting my email in. I'm putting my email in the chat now.
Oh yeah, perfect. We'll also put it in like the description, because this I'm going to repeat. So for all Noface Academy members, this will go in the webinar section in the website, but this will also be in all digital platforms, including, you know, YouTube, clips on Instagram, Spotify, a podcast, all of that stuff. So
yeah,
we'll put in all the descriptions.
Yeah, you got to just, yeah, exactly, because we can literally flood you with people hitting you up about work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, listen,
hopefully that's a good thing.
I'm down to work, and if it's not something that makes sense, then I'm always happy to offer advice. And
awesome,
you know,
if it makes no sense, just ghost them, bro. That's what we do here.
Nah, that's not me, bro. I'm not that guy, bro. I'm trying to set a new trend.
Yeah.
Have you tried right click spam?
Yeah, no. Nah, it's all good, man.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. Who's this?
This is Austin. CF is here. He's here in the audience. It's here. White Dwarf.
Cinematic. You should like it.
In a movie or something, huh?
Yeah.
It's in a movie.
Whoa, I pull it back, man. Hey.
That's sick.
Pull it. Hey, Austin, mate. Austin can hit me up, bro.
That was like some of the most creative stuff, like
some dubstep
incredible.
shit, like but
even
new wave dubstep.
Yeah, it was like melodic too. Like it was really dope. I think that like your creativity making music is insane.
Yeah,
like,
that's
really
quality,
cool
mate. Real quality
Good,
production. Love that, Austin. Big up.
So, you know,
Yeah,
Austin,
I'd like to give a huge shout out to the Noface Academy for creating killers over here.
Yeah. Big
thank
up,
you very
Noface,
much.
man.
Yeah.
Dude, these kids, can you imagine, like, dude, these are like you know, you'd think like some of these records, you'd think they're just coming from like existing producers that are like, you know, popping off on labels. Like these kids are literally like in our academy, all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
no, that's dope,
we're
man.
grooming some savagery over here.
Mhm.
Yeah, you should probably
it.
say developing instead of
Yeah,
grooming.
Oh yeah, that's true. Develop.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I hear
Yeah,
you,
so we
brother.
got Michael Grell as well here in the audience to listen to his demo.
Oh, this is gonna be sick. By the way, I'm working with Michael. We have this thing called the 6-month challenge, where we take an artist from day 1 through day 6. We've been working with Michael a lot. I know this record actually, and this is a sick record. He's sending it to see if you would be up for some vocals.
Yeah,
on
it needs
this
a
one. It's
vocal. So
really
I mean,
dope record.
perfect place to send it if he needs a vocal. You know, Kris Kiss right here.
Like it.
Yo,
You
big
know
up
that-
Michael,
you know-
it sounded good.
You know that remake? You know that remake? Ride it, da-na-na-na, ride it.
on the
No,
floor.
yeah, it's that
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel it. I see it. I
That's
see
that
it.
vibe. So if you lay down the right vibes there, it could be like a really sick record,
Yeah.
honestly.
Big up Michael Growled.
Yeah, like I
That was a
said,
bad
guys.
tune.
So we have the now. Okay, so here's the thing. This is actually great news. Even if we can't get through all the demos for you guys now, because Kris obviously is a busy man making hit records. Now you guys can literally take those for Academy members, and you can spam the crap out of them. No, I'm joking. But send over your stuff. That way you can actually have potentially do some collaborations and discuss these
Yeah,
things
man.
with him.
Well, and also
I-
just make sure you put submission in the title. And then we're
put
good.
like put like Noface webinar.
no
put
face,
something
no face
that- yeah.
submission, or
Exactly.
something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. So I know,
Yeah.
so I know which ones to spam.
Listen to a few
Yeah.
more.
No, but
And
No, I'm
then
joking,
everyone
I'm
else
joking.
can just send. I mean, we've heard pretty much all of them. The only ones that we might miss is the ones where maybe someone isn't in the audience. Then
can you
that makes
play?
no sense.
There is one there. Seuss, I saw he's here.
yeah,
And he has a couple, and he
Yeah.
does a lot of really different styles. I'm really curious to hear what he's got cooking there.
Oh,
He's a
dope.
great dude. Yeah.
yeah. He has a dance hall one. I see, and then
Oh yeah, the dance hall. Yeah, because he makes. You know, he has a funny story. This kid from Canada, and when he heard that I was like living in Latin America, he came to visit one time and fell in love with like Latin music, and I connected him with one of these really big developers, managers over there, and he's actually started releasing some smash records with some big Latin artists already over there in Dominican
good for you,
Republic.
Sauce. Good for you, dude. Good shit.
Run it.
Nice.
Yo, Seuss, you know it's one courtesy.
Hey,
Yo, Sus.
Let's go. Come here, little baby, girl. Come wine for me, girl. Come wine for me, baby. Come wine for me. Why you come wine for me, Come wine for me, girl. You have the qualities when me need. Your reputation will exceed. Just wine for me, baby girl. Just wine for me, baby. Drop it to the floor and make it swirl. Wanna see you drop it for me, baby. Wine for me. Come wine for me, girl.
It's a
That
vibe.
was a nice groove.
It's a vibe. I feel like
Yeah,
the
it's a
vocal
vibe.
needs to be fattened up, maybe with some.
Yeah.
some
That's what I was
some
saying. The production is sick. I was gonna say that the vocals actually need work on that one. Play that second one real quick. I'm curious what his other style is. What this one
Let's
is.
see.
Yeah. Oh shit. He's doing it now. Oh, this is gonna be Latin probably more. Or
a vibe too.
He definitely it's an idiom song, but I can definitely hear those Latin influences with like that like offbeat snare, you know, with like kunka, you know, like reggaeton type feel. So yeah, dope.
Sick.
So I think it's time for that one last segment that Max and I always love. It's kind of like a combination between what we like to call like the challenge, where you have to challenge maybe one of your friends in the industry to come to this show. But we also have this other thing called we pass it forward, where we basically you have to ask a question to that person that you challenge. You gotta ask a question, or for the next guest, you gotta ask them a question. Any question about you know, maybe it could be asking them to explain an embarrassing story, or ask them really anything you might want to know, and then the next guest has to answer it. So
Okay.
You are the first one, so you don't have a question from the previous guest.
Okay.
By the way, and they're gonna know that you asked the question.
Oh hell!
You're
Oh,
like-
I know. I know. Yeah.
No, but the good thing about it is like we did this for another podcast for the blueprint, and what's really cool is it could be something that you ask someone that you know in the industry that you guys are tight with, that we bring in on the show.
Oh, I know
also.
who I'm gonna ask, bro. Don't worry about
So
that.
you gotta
And
challenge.
he'll definitely come on as well.
And this is the other thing is like you can also kind of ask, and also at the same kind of like what is the word that I'm looking for, basically request for us to bring them on the show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%, man.
You gotta challenge
Definitely.
a person to come on the show,
Yeah,
kind of like the ice bucket challenge, the no face
yeah.
challenge.
The no face challenge.
And you can also ask them any question you might want. So feel free.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Mine is to Vato Gonzalez. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if you guys know who that is, but I've got a track with him, Sonic Boom, and another one, X-Ray Vision. Wicked producer, close friend of mine. Where the fuck have you been, mate? Send me some music.
There you go. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
No, I'll be
May-
like,
maybe-
because I know he was moving house and stuff like that. So just a word to Vato. I hope you've moved house, and I hope you're settled. I want some more music. I need a new collab with you, bro. Hit me up.
Oh,
yeah?
I love that.
There you
I love
go.
that. So we're gonna be reaching
There you
out,
go.
Max, to.
I was
Max
hoping
Gonzalez.
you'd give. I was
He's a
hoping you'd
super
give
cool
Mark.
dude, man.
I was hoping you'd give Mark like a challenge where you're like, yo, Don Diablo, what's up? You know?
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, yeah, Don Diablo. Where's the follow up, bro?
Yeah,
Come on,
I'm
hit
gonna-
me up.
I'm-
Hit me up, G. Like
Don
I'm much better
Diablo.
now. Like honestly,
Yeah.
Don needs to hear this. Yeah, when I was in studio with him the first time, my fucking knees were shaking in my fucking jeans, bruv. Like I was so nervous. And we still managed to make a great record. So I just think, man, hit me up again. Let's create a new banger. Let's get it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's funny? I have the complete opposite experience when we were recording the first single we did with Example in LA at Interscope Studios, and I was like, well, we were like friends already. We were like partied together, so we knew each other already.
Yeah.
And he came in, we were actually recording at Dr. Dre's, literally at Dr. Dre's studio. He was done with his, he was done with his like album. The Chronic out, the last one that he did for the movie, not the Chronic 2001.
Oh yeah. By the way, the Chronic 2001, one of the greatest albums of all time. Hands
exactly.
down.
So
that was the soundtrack to my childhood, bro.
Yeah, so
Crazy.
I'm doing my album with Antoine in the Interscope Studios, and for me it was like such a huge deal and stuff.
Oh, bro.
So
I need to come over and see that, bro, because that would be honestly a dream come true. Like for me.
So this fucking guy shows up, bro, and we were like, and I know that he was in LA and he was like raging his ass off, and I was doing the album, so I was like not going out that particular week. So and so he's like, yo, just hit me up like when you were ready to go and stuff. And I had the track laid out and stuff like that. And I hit him up and he shows up hung over as a motherfucker, dude. He can literally barely stand. And I'm looking at him and I was like, what happened, dude? He's like, oh, bro, last night. He's like, I literally haven't slept. And it's like a big deal for me. I'm like, yo, this track is going on your album and my album. And he's like, yeah, don't worry. So, and then and he's like, are you ready? Are you guys ready? And we have the engineers and stuff. And we're like, yeah, we got to drop the instrumental and stuff. And then it's like the, you know, proper booth, like they record like Mariah Carey in this shit.
Yeah.
So I'm putting in the track and everything. We're setting it up and everything. And then, I turn around and I literally hear snoring. I'm not kidding. I turn around and this guy, dude, he's passed out on the couch. You know, there's like a couch in the studio. And I'm like, and I'm tapping his foot. I was like, yo, we're ready to go. He's like, oh, right. And he goes in the booth and literally, and the thing is, because he was partying so hard that night, his voice was very raspy, actually. And I don't know if you know the song Whisper. You don't have to whisper. It was a huge record for him in the UK.
Yeah.
And because of the raspiness, like we captured, and the engineer is like, oh damn, this sounds like insane. He like did one take, and then I was like freestyle. I'm like, do you have like a phone? Did you write anything down? He's like, man, turn that shit on, right? And then we're tweaking the hook, and then he's like, all right, let's record the verses. And we're like, all right, we're ready to record the verses. So he comes back into the main room, and he's like, yo, man, I'm gonna go grab a burger. I need to eat something greasy. Just like set up the verse, whatever. I'll come back. He literally went to In-N-Out, came back with a burger, okay, like still cheese on his fucking hands. And he's like, you guys ready? And he goes in and like knocks it out. And then he's like, all right, I'll see you guys at the after party. And he bounces. And that's it.
Wow.
Like literally, it was like, dude. And I've had the opposite where I have singers where I come in. I mean, he was like flying so high at that point. He was like working with some of the biggest people in the UK. So he's like, who the fuck was I? You know, for him, it's it wasn't like a big deal. But at the same time, I've also worked with singers where, you know, I get the demo and the singer's like knocking, you know, so awesome. And then the pressure, and then it just like she goes in the booth and it's like, not it. And like some singers sometimes.
Yeah, they fumble under the pressure, man. When you're in the booth, man, it's a different kettle of fish, man. It's a different story altogether, you know, especially if you've got other people in the studio, or, you know, it's a different, that comes with experience, man.
Yeah, but it sounds like, back to the Don Diablo thing now, it sounds like, you know, from just the confidence level that you're at now. I mean, you're just a killer. You're a killer.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hopefully,
So, this is what I'm saying. Like,
actually,
that's
gotta pitch this to Don Diablo. We gotta pitch it to him. Be like,
yeah,
Don Diablo,
bro, get Don on, man. Yeah, we need a Kris Kiss #2, and I reckon it'll explode, bruv.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something before we wrap this thing up. Is like, Don, I've known him for many years, man. When I was working with the Size, he signed, he was sending in a lot of demos and things like that. And a lot of you guys, actually, you know, the listeners and stuff like that, don't really realize how many years it took Don to pop off. Like, Don is in his 40s, dude. Like, yeah. Don ain't he ain't like, he's not a young kid over
he's
here.
Put
like
the work in, mate. That's what
his first successful record was well into his 30s.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And this is what I'm saying. This is the beauty of dance music. It's not the same as, well, I suppose any music really. People always think that, you know, you have to blow up at a certain age, or if, you know, you got teenagers or, you know, coming out, and when you see like, you know, bands like, you know, One Direction and shit like that, you think, oh, I'm so, you know, if you're 30, you think you're old. Dude, you're not old, man. Like, you honestly, there is a point where you get to where it's like, all right, if you're not like a legend already, you maybe should give it up a little bit. Like, but yeah, the beauty of house and EDM and dance music generally is there's, you know, a wider age range of people who love it and enjoy it and can perform it and produce it, and, you know, it's good, man. But it's always down to how you feel, innit? If you're confident in what you're doing, as long as you're not pushing.
Chocolate Puma guys, you know, they became really big in like around 2008, but 2008, dude, they were like already of age, bro.
Yeah. They're older dudes.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
David Guetta's first hit, I believe, was at 35.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Oh, well, let's see if anybody remembers. Let's see if anybody remembers.
I'm 31 right now.
Oh, dude,
I'm,
you're a
I'm
baby.
happy.
You're a
I'm
baby.
happy to accept that. I'm happy to.
No, but let's
everyone
see.
know.
I'll bet you Mark won't even know. I'll bet you Mark won't even know it. I'm hoping that you will. It's like, do you remember "The World Is Mine"? Da-na-na-na-na. Do you remember that track? That was his first big hit, bro.
Oh,
The
yeah,
World
yeah.
Is Mine.
The world is mine.
Yeah, dude.
But
Yeah,
nah,
and
so if David Guetta blew up like universally at 35, then I've still got 4 years on him. So
You got it.
and
only
we're already
people-
doing well. We're doing well
like
already.
the only people that don't make it, honestly, are I'm not gonna knock on some people, but when it comes to music, sometimes I work with people. It's like, if you ain't got the rhythm, bro, it's tough. You know what I mean? Like, those people that you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're like way off. If you're way off, don't do music. Please, stay away.
Yeah,
but
it's important to be real with yourself, innit? Like, as well.
like, be real. Don't be like, oh, I'll do it. Like, you know what I mean? You have to have like certain things.
Know
like,
your strengths.
I have a friend of mine who's a super successful businessman, and when I was doing the music thing, he's like, yo, can you teach me some guitar? He like literally just wanted to learn some guitar and stuff. And he's a buddy of mine. I was literally teaching him rhythm for 2 years, and after that I gave up. I was like, dude, you just can't do it. You know what I mean? And it's like those people that can't ride a bike, it's like, just give up. But the people that actually are putting out music that sounds, like semi-decent, or anybody here who's doing some really great stuff that, we're listening to, like, the only obstacle is going to be yourself, and you simply saying, I can't go on doing this, and that's it. The killers are like, if I go back, it's a tough journey again, of course. And then, for example, me personally, and I know for you as well, like, people look at us and they're like, oh man, these guys are legends. The thing is, like, the stuff that you and I have not done yet with our music careers is so up there.
Yeah,
it's so up there. So that's why a lot of people also need to understand is that there are so many different levels of success. It also depends where you want to go. Like, for a lot of these kids, it's like, like, for example, like, don't get me wrong, I love Tiesto, he's boy. But like, when somebody calls me now, it's like, yo, did you hear Tiesto played your song? I'm like, yay!
No, I know, yeah. No, I hear that.
Like,
I hear that, man. Like, bruv, there was a moment for me, it was Ibiza, like 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 years ago, maybe even longer, I don't know. Performed at Pasha with Daddy's Groove, supporting David Guetta. And he was standing right next to me, and I jumped up onto the table where the decks were in front of the whole crowd. And it was just like, that was a moment, bro. Like, like the breakdown come and it was silent. And I was like, make some fucking noise like that. Yeah. And everyone's like, ah, I was like, what? Shit, this is mad. It's them moments, bro. Like, and, obviously that was a peak, and then things haven't gone down necessarily, but you've just got to keep riding the waves, man. The only people who fail are the people who give up, man. Unless you're shit.
I love that quote, dude.
Yeah, the only people who fail, the only people who fail is give up. But then there comes a time where you just got to be real with yourself. You just got to know your strengths. And if a lot of people are telling you one thing, and you don't think it's the case, then it's probably the case.
100%. 100%. Be like, I don't think we necessarily have anybody like that, within our community that I know of. And not that I'd bring it up or anything like that, but sometimes you just, like you said, you have to be also, like, I see a lot of, I call them on the surface wannabes. Like, this game ain't some on the surface shit. You're either in or not, what I mean? Like,
that's it, man.
Like,
and it's like, and it brings me back to the word earlier, tenacity, bro. Like, there is nothing, the amount of times I failed, people told me I can't rap, but I can't sing. Like, it's impossible to do music. You'll never make it. I've had labels turn me away, tell me that, everything you can imagine has happened to me, where people have given me every reason to give up and doubt myself. But, you just have to like get into like a real tunnel vision mindset where it's like you don't have to know how you're going to get there all the time, but as long as you know where the destination is, you just fucking focus on that.
Yeah.
And just work your ass off,
Yeah.
man. That's
That
it.
like
I love
that
it. I
moment that
love
you
it.
told me, Pacha Ibiza, you know, like the first time, dude, the first time I played there, like that's kind of like a thing for me. Like, for example, when I get back to, when I get back my, like some of the Ibiza residencies and things like that, like right there, you just said a couple of lines right there that like when we're done with the session, that's the reason why I'm gonna spend the rest of the weekend making music, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because I know that feeling, bro. And then after that, you go to the terrace and take a couple of Yerbas shots with the boys and stuff. Ooh, bro, it's that air, bro. When you land in a beat, like for those of you kids that are trying to make it, fight for the air. When you land in a
Yeah.
Ibiza, yo, fight for that air, dude. Like when you come out, you're like, yes,
Ushuaia's
did
sick
it.
as well. I did
Oh, dude,
Ushuaia.
Ushuaia,
Yeah,
bro.
Ushuaia's
Dude.
sick, man.
Bro,
But yeah,
like
man.
there's so much, there's so much beauty in this industry. That's why like for example, I love it because I understand it. Like for example, if somebody told me is like, hey, why don't you get into like maybe this or that? Like I don't like I know the electronic scene like the back of my hand. I know all the clubs. I like, I know all the places. So it's almost kind of like when they call you back for those certain shows, you're coming in, you already know exactly what shoes to
you're
wear. You know
comfortable.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's
No, I hear
great.
you.
And yeah, the community is awesome. And I think that you're right. Like it may be plateaued, but this next generation, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
bro, like you're gonna see it more the more as you're involved
More,
with maybe us and stuff.
yeah.
Bro, this next generation are hardcore EDM people.
Yeah, yeah,
Hardcore,
yeah.
bro. Hardcore.
Yeah, man.
Like it's next level stuff.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? It's like this music game, it's not for the weak-hearted. Yeah, it's
No.
like you have to be, it's a beautiful thing. It's like, passion, it's expression, all of that. But I'm telling you now, if you haven't got thick skin, and you're easily like, slowed down, or, you let people plant seeds of doubt, you're not going to last. So, and just because you may have been like that in the past doesn't mean that you can't change the way you are, change the way you act, and change the way you feel. You got to be very, very tough to commit to a life of music, unless you're really lucky and you have a big break. But then even then it's not easy.
It's even harder then if you're not prepared. It's even harder.
Exactly, because then you're like a fish out of water. So
like what there's a thing about that is like when I was working with Steve Angelo a lot, I remember Antoine would always, when Avicii was really, really popping off like heavy, and he, we had these conversations where like, damn, maybe we should be doing more of X, Y, and Z, because like even when you're at the top, you're always comparing to other artists yourself. You always want to be bigger than anything. You know what I mean? And then I'll never forget something that Steve was, and it ended up being kind of true since with the tragic death of Avicii and stuff.
Yeah.
He was saying he's like, dude, I would choose the slow climb any day of the week, and I would choose the slower the better. He's like, listen, because Steve is one of those guys, like I admired him so much, and I still do to this day. Like he's one of those guys, it's not about if, it's just when. That's with him. That's
exactly.
how it is.
Yeah. I like that.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's important.
It
is important. But it is important to have balance in your life though, as well. Like, because I burnt myself out when I first started. I thought the more time I spend doing it, the better I'll be, and the more it will make sense. And even though that was good in the learning stages of like learning how to do lyrics, learning how to rap, record, sing, all of these things, it was good then. But it can become like a routine to spend too much time doing it and not see the bigger picture. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you gotta take a step back. And then the thing is, like, I actually when those years when I really went in trying to figure out what the next move is, those are the years actually that were the least productive years, because as soon as I took a step back and I was like, okay, let me see, maybe I should do this, or maybe because you know, I see a lot of guys, like, they read on the internet, they're like, okay, I heard that you need to release four tracks a month. And it's like, I mean, release 4 tracks a month if you're a savage, where you're just like, yo, listen, I want to release 4 tracks a month, but don't do something just because somebody else has written about it. Or for example, everybody's like, I see these kids, dude, I get demos. They're like, yo, check out my like slap bass cover or this. It's like, dude, like that's not how you make it. You know what I mean? Like,
it's got to be calculated.
One thing that I learned from the day one, when I'm friends with a lot of really big radio executive guys, and they always tell me, they're like, listen, we get managers send us demos, and they're like, hey, check it out, I manage this kid, and this single that we just did, it's like Calvin Harris vibes. And the guy is like, why would I play Calvin Harris vibes when I can play Calvin Harris?
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah.
I want to give another bit of advice as well to anybody. Like, I can't underestimate how important like focusing on your health is for your music. Like, you know, like if you try and stay as healthy as you can, and you try and stay active, that gives you more mental power. And that really is the facts, because, you know, when I was younger, I didn't have a trainer, or I wasn't really conscious about health. And since then, I have been for quite a while, and I can tell you that the benefits just are never ending to how it can affect your music in a positive way. Do you know what I mean? Because you just feel better from the inside out, and your mind's more clear. So I can't underestimate how important staying active is, because making music is sitting in a fucking chair for hours. Do you know what I'm saying? Like hours and hours and hours. So more so than anything, it's like having an office job, but we're just making music. But that's why it's so important to get moving, to stay active, you know, all of that stuff.
I love this conversation so much. I was saying we're gonna make a new section in the podcast for this. We're gonna call it the motivational section.
Yeah, do it.
This is gonna be the section where we just motivate our audience, because it's really awesome that this conversation came up. Keep going.
I say this, all the guys, all these dudes that are like, you know, like Avicii, you know, even though he kind of got into fitness like late already, kind of, you know, he started doing some stuff like that. All this like suicidal shit that you see in the music industry, I promise you that would not exist if there was life and fitness involved. Facts. 100%.
Because people from a young age get, you know, influenced into doing things, drugs, etc., drinking to excess, you know, these things, because they think it's cool. And then some people who can't manage to work that out and find, you know, a positive route for their life get trapped in it, and they have no knowledge how to turn it around, what things they need to do to make themselves feel better. That, you know, people love to like categorize people, and, you know, some people just say, oh, I'm just not like someone who wants to train, or I'm not interested. But let me tell you, there's something active that every single person would enjoy. It's just about finding what it is, whether it's like riding a bike.
And what I found in terms of fitness, for me, like, I'm not the kind of person that loves to close myself in the gym. You can also just find a sport that you love. I love playing tennis,
active fun. So it's like soccer, you know, or boxing, but like go and box a bag, or, you know, just something that you find fun, but that is also active. The benefits are just unreal.
Yeah, we're actually, I know it sounds really crazy. I mean, it doesn't sound crazy at all, but I'm, you know, in college, I actually minored in health and nutrition, health and fitness outside of my major. Like, if it wasn't for, like, I had, you know, I would be so dead for, you know, I was on tour for practically 10 years. And I can honestly say that if it wasn't for me getting my, like, I would land somewhere, no matter how tired I am, the first thing that I do, I'm like, yo, where's the gym? And my rider, I would, there's in my rider, it's always because a lot of hotels in like
Gym
countries
access.
like in Asian countries for some reason, like especially like in Japan, they're not like big on fitness and stuff. Yeah, exactly. So what we're gonna launch actually is we're gonna launch no face fit sector of like our company, and I'm
Yep.
gonna team up with a bunch of like my buddies who are like, I have a lot of like friends in professional sports and things
Yeah.
like that, and we're gonna like tie in together like lifestyle and music, and
Yeah.
actually start like, people need to understand that
connected,
just
man.
because social media is showing you that you got to be like some scrummy ass druggy musician,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's the cool way to do it. Nah,
Yeah.
bro, like it ain't cool.
Like I'm a
might
31-year-old
yeah.
man who's been there, mate, and I've done it all, yeah. And let me tell
Yeah.
you, like people, like there's a lot of people who think, oh, I can't get inspiration unless I smoke weed, or
Yeah.
I need a drink. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
when you master how to do it, when you're completely clear-headed and you're staying fit and you're healthy, the passion, the enjoyment, the quality, everything just goes up. And it's just about stop trying to fit into the fucking mold. Like, be your own person, man. Do you know what I mean? Don't
Yeah,
follow
but
the crowd.
let's be real also, is that a lot of people don't understand one super important thing. Majority of the superstars, the biggest musicians in the world, they actually wrote their best songs way before the drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? So
But
they
then-
come in and then they go into this mold thinking like they need that vibe.
Yeah.
And then exactly, because then they're like, you get trapped in this. Like, for example, I noticed like, I'd be on tour and, promoters would be like, they would be like baffled when I'd say, I just want to perform and go to the hotel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean? But we got all these parties lined up for you. And it's like, dude, like, I get it. But tomorrow, when your ass is sleeping, I'm flying to Asia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, brain
well, that's
dead,
what I mean. Like, for me as a person, I got caught up in that kind of influence from early. So my way of looking at it now, if ever I'm gonna talk about stuff, lifestyle connected with music to people who are up and coming or whatever, like I'm saying it's cool to be like clear. It's cool to be like focused on the actual love for it, and not trying to, reach for stuff because you think that you should, or because you feel like it gives you benefit. Trust me, just get active, be more health conscious, and fucking
and look at
get
the
cracking.
rap game, bro. Now it's becoming like, these kids are getting out of it because so many rappers died these last couple of years because of like all these
sad.
pills
Cough
and
syrup
shit.
and shit and pills. Yeah. That's what I mean. It's bullshit, man. It's all just bullshit. That's all I gotta say about that.
Dude, incredible show right here. I really can't wait to put this out. And yeah, again, I love this last improvised section right here, motivational section /
That's how we do, baby.
People ready to go up. I loved it. It motivated me. I bet everyone here, let us know in the chat, but I bet everyone here loved it. What a beautiful way to wrap this up. I think, yeah, it was awesome to have you, Kris.
Thank you so much, Mark,
for going through all of the sections with us. Max as well, some insights, and I think it went very smooth. And yeah, I can't wait to put this out.
Perfect, man.
All right, guys.
Well, yeah, big up, Mark. Big up, Max. It's always love. Thank you for everybody who's joined. And yeah,
awesome to have a live audience,
Diablo.
right?
Yeah, sick actually. I like the
Like,
live
It's
audience.
more fun, right? You get to be with people.
Don Diablo, call me. And
Yeah.
Vato, call me. Yeah. But
Call
anyway,
me
guys.
before it's too late.
Yeah. All right, peace and love, boys.
Thanks for listening to the Noface Show.